Hello people of the internet, welcome to episode 24 of Paint to Life, the YouTube channel where we take tiny plastic miniatures, throw some acrylic paint on them, and then breathe life into them with storytelling so you might learn something new on the subject or take it to make your own in your own campaign. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you like my storytelling and the paint jobs, that's cool. Please hit subscribe, help support the channel. I really appreciate it. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back friend. I'm Atank. Let's get painting. Alright, last week we painted the board game pieces from the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid board game, and we learned a little bit about the Power Rangers in the process. If you missed that episode, you can catch it right up here now if your browser supports it. Tonight we're going to be painting a Manticore. A Manticore is a mythical creature similar to a sphinx that proliferated in Western European medieval art as well. It has the head of a human, the body of a lion, and a tail full of spines, kind of like porcupine quills, while some depictions have it with a scorpion-like tail. Originally documented in Persia, this feared man-eating manticore, or manticora, had said to be sighted in places as varied as the jungles in India and Indonesia, as well as, more rarely, the forests of North America and Europe. The Manticore was said to be a bold creature, able to take on many men at once and often looking for those opportunities to fill its appetite. It also made a late appearance in heraldry and coats of arms, where it later became known amongst European iconography. Adapted for the world of Dungeons & Dragons, Manticores are true evil monsters. They are large beasts with the bodies of lions, wings like a dragon, head of a man, and a tail that ended with a mass of deadly spikes. The head was reminiscent of an old man, sometimes with a full beard, and always with a mouth full of razor-sharp serrated teeth, rows upon rows, similar to a great white shark. Manticores are intelligent creatures as well, and often work beside other evil creatures to bring strife and suffering to the world. They are carnivorous creatures, and while they'll settle on any kind of flesh, they definitely have a preference in that they love humans most of all. Typically known to make their lairs underground or in caves in warm habitats, these creatures could be found in almost any climate. Now, if you're playing D&D as the DM, know that a Manticore is perfect for a low to mid-level challenge with the ferocity of a lion with the added benefit of flight. Additionally, their below-average intellect still allows you to have a parlay and negotiate. Additionally, if you accidentally TPK your entire party, that lower than average but still higher than animalistic intelligence might give you an out and that you can capture or negotiate with the fallen party. Now, for you players out there who might face a Manticore, know that their tail spines can be launched like a ranged javelin attack, so keep your shield arm up. But also know that Manticore hide is also valued among some creatures for use in furniture such as chairs, so make sure you go all Buffalo Bill on their corpse once you're triumphant in battle. But who is our Manticore? Baldric Bennington was the ringmaster and proprietor of Baldric's traveling circus and freak show. They had exotic animals from Mulholland, undead ghouls dressed as clowns, captured fairies in jars, halflings dressed as goblins, goblins dressed as halflings, bearded female dwarves, and all kinds of oddities from the realms. Currently, the troupe was traveling through the grassy plains, gentle rolling hills and dunes of the vast region known as the Shaar. One morning, a discovery was made that one of their bull elephants had been killed and partially devoured the night prior. Massive chunks of flesh hewn right from its body. Unfazed, but nevertheless an opportunist, Baldric orders that the remainder of the beast is prepared and served as food for the entire entourage. And on they moved, with all the little people ordered to stay inside the wagons or close to the center of the convoy. The very next night, however, a single strong man is snatched while on the outskirts of camp, dragged screaming into the darkness. As Baldric and his guards converged and followed the last direction of the scream, they perceived a conversation taking place not far away. They heard a human whimpering and another voice. It sounded large and human, but with an unnaturally high pitch.
"I will kill you swiftly if you beg."
Right when the men reached the top of the dune, they saw a sight that stopped them in their tracks. Right at the boundary of their flickering torchlight in the gloom, they saw what appeared to be a large lion with a strangely humanoid face and eyes refracting their torchlight back at them from the darkness. It loosed a chilling laugh, and then the dark shape leapt up into the air and flew away carrying a lifeless, legless body in its mouth. A quick glance at the legs left behind revealed familiar tooth marks on the thighs, just like the marks on the elephant's corpse the night prior. Baldric demanded that the Vistanni fortune-teller traveling with them, the old and wise Nathalia, divine the location of the creature. With her magic, she was successful and gave them affirmative directions.
Baldric, the mists have shown me many things. You will have your chance, and you must take it. Slay this monster, but beware the tail.
Now the next morning, Baldric takes about a dozen guards, and they track down the lair of the beast about 10 miles away in a cave alongside a great lake. Inside, pieces of bone and scraps of armor strewn about. The creature sleeps soundly right ahead of them, atop a pile of discarded clothes and furs. Illuminated, they see the full body of a lion with massive paws and a tail that tapers into a football-sized knuckle at the tip, with large spines reminiscing serrated short swords sticking out from it. Its head resembles an old human male with a reddish-brown beard and hair, and a disturbing mouth full of rows of razor-sharp teeth like those of a great white shark. Teeths is not a word. The plural for tooth is teeth. The more you know. One of the men moves in to slay the beast, and Baldric throws up his hands in protest. "Are you mad? This creature could be the star of our show." "Subdue it, men," he orders, as the men jump on top of it, holding its wings so that it cannot fly or fight well. A few men are bitten, one critically into 2 pieces, and another man is crushed by a massive claw, but ultimately, they are successful in capturing the creature. Back to the circus camp, the bound creature is thrown atop a cart. "You owe me 1 bull elephant, 2 guards, and 1 strong man," Baldric says, looking into the creature's eyes. Remembering Nathalia's warning to beware the tail, Baldric takes a pair of blacksmith tongs and makes his way behind the beast. "I can't have you swinging this dangerous-looking thing around now, can I?" As he clamps down and tears one of the spikes out from the tail, triggering a wail of suffering from the creature.
"Please let me go, and I promise I will torment you no longer."
"You are absolutely something to behold. Such soft, leathery wings. You will make us all very rich." As Baldric collects the serrated spines, they clang together like swords, and he is careful to avoid the sharp edges. "You there," he points. "Undo that bondage. Tie the wings tightly together with rope so that it cannot fly or escape from the cart." And the next day, many from the circus troupe sneak in to the cart to see the creature for themselves. Its tail, bloody and swollen to 2 times its regular size, looks tremendously painful and infected. The creature's eyes are tearful, and it pleads with everyone who approaches it in vain to free it. That afternoon, they arrive in the small city of Dale for a performance, and Baldric again goes to sit down with the seer, Nathalia.
You should have killed it.
The word is out. This will be our first performance with Leonidas. I've named him Leonidas. Nathalia, tell me, what did the mists reveal to you of our new routine?
I see a crowd gasping with astonishment and passing the word of the show for miles around.
Splendid, Baldric says through a crooked smile. That evening, their sold-out show begins. Ghoulish clowns, halfling acrobats, elephants wearing clothes. The rickety cart wheels out into the center ring with a curtain around it. A creature, the likes of which you have never seen. A human, cursed by the beast lord Malar into this form, this abomination. The head of a man, but with the core body of a lion. A Manticore, Leonidas! Behind the ringmaster Baldric, the curtain around the cart was lifted. The captured Manticore rose, trembling on its legs, each wing bound to the other and to the cart with thick hempen rope. Its swollen tail was half raised behind it, bruised and soaked with an oozing fluid. The crowd gasped at the sight of the massive, familiar humanoid head with its toothy maw agape. As the ringmaster continued to work up the crowd, Leonidas' tail gently danced back and forth under the lights of the tent. So too danced the reflection of the light, a reflection cast from a small, serrated spine jutting out only about 4 inches from the quivering mound at the end of the tail. Then the tail swung, with purpose, in a flash of movement. Using this newly grown, exposed, serrated spine, the tail had slashed right through the rope, binding the creature and its wings. Pieces of rope fell to the ground, and the Manticore stretched its leathery wings wide, casting a draconic shadow over the ringmaster. The stunned spectators looked on in horror and grew silent. Baldric turned around guardedly in time to see the tail level out over top of the Manticore's head, its hateful narrow yellow eyes locking directly with his. There was a sharp crack, and the spine was forcefully ejected from the tail muscle, propelled like a javelin straight into the ringleader's right eye and into his brain, killing him instantly. Then the Manticore leapt right into the crowd, biting, clawing, mauling. The screams of the audience filled the tent.
I see a crowd gasping with astonishment and passing the word of the show for miles around.
Finally, after he had sated his vengeance, he took to the air and flew out into the freedom that was the cold night sky. Leonidas, the Man-Eater. So that's it. So what did you think of Leonidas? Here he is for the shelf. So I have some things coming down the pipeline that'll be fun to paint and talk about for Paint to Life, including a custom 3D printed mind flayer for Patrick Donovan's request from the comments in episode 18 and 21 respectively. So next week, what should I paint? I have the Nolzur's Wave 12 Ogre Zombie, as well as the Giant Spider and Egg Clutch. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see as the next Paint to Life episode, and whichever one has the most requests by Sunday at 5 o'clock will be our next episode. I'd like to thank my good friend and D&D group member Shannon Swatsky for lending her voice to a couple of characters in tonight's episode. Thank you very much. So this miniature is being released in the USA as part of the Wizkids Paint Night program. It's designed to get you painting. It comes with a miniature, a brush, a couple paints, and they're hosting classes at your friendly local gaming store. So if you live in the States, feel free to check into one of those. However, since we don't have this in Canada or internationally until at least next year, I thought I'd try and do something similar. So what that means is go to your friendly local gaming store, grab that Manticore, tell them GMA Tank sent you, grab a couple paints and a brush, and watch on Tuesday for the painting video with commentary and paint along and see what you come up with. Guys, I release new story videos every Saturday, so if you liked it, please come back, subscribe, share the love, grow the channel. I much appreciate it. Check out painttolife.com for all of my content, as well as my Work in Progress Wednesday Instagram, etc., etc. Other than that, we're done. Everybody, this is GMA Tank signing off. Wash your hands, people. A human cursed by the beast lord
Something I found on the web. According to pinkvilla.com. Bet you have never seen her like this.
Okay. Thank you, Alexa. You have officially creeped me out.